Yeah, you won't be able to hear the intro and stuff. I don't know where I got my settings wrong. Because my Wednesday night show, he can't hear anything that I play on the computer.
Oh, that's sad.
It's weird. I don't know why. You guys should be able to hear everything that's going on.
It's weird.
Oh, yeah. I'm in Valrico, by the way. I saw your...
Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, I'm listening to you on YouTube. There you go.
All right, that shouldn't be happening. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am, well, holy shit. There goes the whole intro. Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, you can go to Reaver.1 if you want to watch a live broadcast or if you want to join the chat. So just go to Reaver.1, click on the live stream button, and be a part of the show. Last but not least, if you want to support the show or support SHR Media, you can go to Reaver.1/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. And you can pick yourself up a pro Second Amendment t-shirt. Your pro Blue Lives Matter t-shirts. Oh, had a definite Freudian slip there. You can get survival bracelets and even a pocket constitution. So go to Reaver.1/shop. And today on the show, we have a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, Easy?
Well, good morning. I mean, it's morning here.
Good morning.
It's almost the darn afternoon where you are right now.
Yep.
Well, great. Thank you for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate it. This is the first time that we've had occasion to speak one-on-one. I met a lot of the people on the Sack Edge Radio Media Network when everybody went to Las Vegas about a month ago or so in July. So that was fun to meet a whole bunch of people there. But this is my first time meeting you, so it's great to see and to hear you.
Great to meet you too, sir. And yeah, I couldn't make it financially unable to get out there. I wanted to, but couldn't afford it.
Great time, had by all. And it was great to meet all the other people from SHR Media as well. And now I'm getting to meet you, so it's great.
So, what's your background?
Boy, that was quick.
I'd like to jump right in it.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was a registered Democrat. And I grew up in a time when being a child would kill you. We had back then in the 50s and 60s what I called combat telephones that were about 75 pounds each and had rotary dials, and you had massive index fingers that were ensconced in muscle because of the tremendous amount of strength that it took to turn a rotary dial telephone. And I started to get into politics a bit when I went into college, because the particular year that I went into college was not only the summer of love, but it was the same year that, Martin Luther King happened to be assassinated and Robert Kennedy was assassinated. So I thought it was a wonderful thing if I would become a Democrat. So I did. I was a registered Democrat. And then that funny thing happened. I actually got a series of good-paying jobs. So once I got some good-paying jobs and began to realize where my taxes were actually going, made an amazing discovery. I could change to Republican. And probably the greatest time I ever felt about casting a vote was for Ronald Reagan in the late 70s. And I hate to say it, or it's a great thing to say. Ronald Reagan changed me absolutely around. And then I became a registered Republican. And then some other strange things happened. As is wont to say, the Republican Party, I didn't leave it, but it sort of left me. And then I became a registered independent. And I started blogging back in 2004. And so I've had my blog for about 12 years now. And just recently found the SHR radio network. I used to be on radio back at many, many years back in KFBK in Sacramento. And then I went through radio in college and did some other radio shows, went to numerous concerts, lost my hearing, got tinnitus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, for years of wearing headphones like you're wearing right now. So I came around to be a conservative, and there we go. That's about it in a nutshell.
All right. I know we have not had the chance yet to really speak yet. So I'll give you the background on me a little bit. I never started out doing radio. This is just something, actually Sean gave me the chance to do about, 2014. When I turned 16, I started volunteering on a fire truck, just as my dad was a volunteer firefighter. And I ended up getting into the ambulance and made that a career up until about 7 years ago when I injured my back. Then I got in a car accident. Things got worse. And I actually kind of disabled now. So I'm able to voice my opinion. But like you, at one point, I was a Democrat. Then I started really waking up. I went independent. But I still had a little bit of the Democrat leanings because I was believing all the bullshit that were being told. Until, like, I want to say before Obama, but I had actually fell for Obama's bullcrap when he first got in. I didn't vote for him, but I fell for his bullshit. And that's when I started really waking up to what's going on. And I didn't feel I had a voice. So I started doing a podcast. Sean heard it. I had gotten Chris Perantu to do an interview with me. This is back in 2004. The book had just come out. And Sean told me I needed to go.
Right?
Huh?
The SEAL guy, Chris Perantu?
Well, he's a Ranger, but from...
Oh, Ranger, I'm sorry. He would kill me if I said that.
Benghazi.
Right.
Yeah. So Sean kept telling me how I had to do it live. So I did like 2 shows live before interviewing him. And then it's been... Since then, it's just been keep doing the show. And yeah, I just try to get my voice out. I'm not one of these... I have some college education. I speak plainly. I'm not... I don't try to... I see a lot of the shows out there, not all of them, but some of the shows, it seems like they try to impress everybody by talking above them. So I just try to speak in plain language the way you would have a conversation outside, and it gets me in trouble sometimes, I'll tell you that. So that's my background for you.
Sounds like your transformation was somewhat recent, since about roughly 2004, 2008,
well,
right around in there.
Yeah. Well, the transformation to conservative, yeah, I'd say right on 2007, 2008. Like I bought his bullshit, but I didn't vote for him. I actually voted for McCain. But just he talked a good game. I know a lot of people that even said that they were conservative, but when he got in office and he gave that speech that first day, he had given him the benefit of the doubt and bought into it, and it really pissed him off that they were proven wrong.
Well, you went through something of a rather startling 180 then yourself. It wasn't sort of semi-gradual. It was pretty rapid with you.
No, and once I started learning that what I've been told all these years was a lie, I got more and more pissed off about it. because I started looking at what all the bullshit they were saying. You know, how Republicans are racist, they're against this, they're against that. They want to shut down Social Security. They want to kill your puppies. And I really started looking at it going, how the hell was I so stupid that I believed all that bullshit? Once I started looking into it, it's like there's so many holes in their lies. It's not funny.
Except for the part about puppy killing. There is a lot of puppy killing going on.
Well, you know, I actually thought about doing a commercial. It would be ripping off another commercial I heard. You know, if you don't listen to me, the puppy will get it and have a little puppy crying, hear a gun cock.
That's from a 1978 National Lampoon cover. Buy this magazine or we'll shoot this dog.
Well, there was also, I can't remember who it was. There was, I think it was in the 80s, 90s. There was a radio show host that did that too. I don't think it was Howard Stern. And they did that, you know, and they ended up doing some albums actually. And they were playing dog baseball. Oh my! Now I'm gonna have to get a friend of mine that actually introduced me to that. Oh God, that's gonna drive me nuts all day today. Now,
I like your mug, by the way.
Thank you. They're actually for sale on Reaver.1. So
hey, there you go. Perfect opportunity.
Hey, I'll get the plugs in when I can get them.
Hey, listen, if you can't promote yourself, who can you promote?
Exactly. I've been married, so I got to promote myself all the time. But and we were talking off air, and I wanted to bring it up because I like to talk about everything that goes on, especially when I find it funny. And for those that don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio got in a car accident over the weekend. I think it was over the weekend. He was driving, whether it was his car, some say it was his car, some say it was a friend of his, but he was driving a Land Rover or Range Rover, excuse me, when he got in the accident. He was driving an SUV. So a lot of people, including myself, are pointing out the fact that he was driving a Range Rover, which is really hysterical to me. And these people on the left are freaking out that we're pointing out his hypocrisy. And I've gotten told that I'm jealous. I'm being the moral police. One even said I threatened him, which is real funny. They pulled Hillary Clinton on me. It's what the left won't do to protect their false stories. It's sickening almost.
And yet, here's the funny thing. He had has a girlfriend named Nina. And I'm looking at an article. It says Leonardo DiCaprio and Nina Agdal get into, wait for it, Hamptons car crash.
Yep.
Well, tell me, Jersey Joe, who happens to live in the Hamptons? Is it people from downtown Chicago, or is it the elite? I think I know the answer.
Downtown Chicago?
Yeah, there you go. Says the Oscar winner and the model. Jersey Joe? I know I'm not.
She should be, but she's not.
Good answer. You are going to get husband points at the conclusion of this broadcast, guaranteed. It said they were heading east on Montauk Highway in Wainscott in a Range Rover at about 4:30 p.m. Saturday when they were struck by a woman driving a Mini Cooper. Now, was the woman struck driving a 1978 Cadillac Seville?
Nope.
No, it was struck by someone driving a Range Rover. Amazing. In the Hamptons.
Well, that's the funny part. He's driving a Range Rover and she's driving a Mini Cooper. Which one's better for the environment?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, people did a study about the Hummer, that isn't made anymore, the Hummer H2, as opposed to a Toyota Prius. And it turned out that the Hummer H2 was much less destructive of the environment than the Prius, if for no other reason than the minerals that are required to create the lithium-ion battery in the Prius. They're mined in Soviet Russia, mostly. They have to be transported. They have to be acquired and assembled in a factory, and they have to be shipped to Toyota. And then, of course, when the battery pack in the Prius dies, You can't just leave it in your car. So that's another $10,000 accessory. And then you have to take the battery pack and either disassemble it, and you have to do something with it with the environment. That's extremely costly. And then, of course, you as a firefighter know that when you get into a vehicle accident with a Prius or another vehicle that's has a large battery involved, you better be disassembling that car very, very carefully if someone's trapped inside. If you need to use the jaws of life, you have to make sure that the car, prior to even getting into it, is disconnected from its electric source, etc. So, yes, the Hummer H2 is less of a despoiler than the standard Prius or any other sort of hybrid-type vehicle, like a Nissan Leaf, for example. So, way to go, Hummer. Of course, that was the evil car, the evil, nasty car.
Well, also, you kind of reminded me of something else when you were talking about disconnecting the battery for the Prius. And the one thing a lot of people don't realize when they they think they're being very conscious when they put the solar panels on top of their house. The one thing they don't realize is if your house catches on fire, chances of it burning down are highly increased, because firefighters cannot go up on the roof at that point and ventilate just and all that, because there's a tripping hazard on the roof now. Secondly, you cannot shut down the power off those solar panels. They're live 24/7. You can't shut them down. Well, not 24/7, but you know what I mean. You can't shut them down, so there's always electricity flowing. You can't get water anywhere near the roof. So people's houses are burning down, and they're sitting there going, what the hell? I'm being conscious. I put them up on my house, and now my house burned down because of them.
That's very interesting, because that's a point that a lot of people don't even think of when you're talking about an emergency response like that. Unless I'd mentioned that about the Prius, I would imagine that a lot of people that are listening right now don't particularly think about that.
I don't think
myself,
of it either.
I certainly had never thought about that with regard to if you had a lot of solar panels on the roof. So that's very interesting. My wife happens to live in Ghetto Central right here. So when people say that I don't have any kind of an idea about what's happening with regard to certain minorities, and certainly in my neighborhood, I am the minority, singular. So I don't have solar panels, nor am I going to waste the money on her house around here. But it's a very interesting observation. Also, I noticed that I happen to live in California. I call it Fornicalia because it does that to almost everything that it touches. But in the process of that, there's a lot of farmland in the central California and Sacramento Valley. And because of the various leftist leanings, it was decided that particular companies were going to come in, and farmers sold their land to solar farms. So in the brilliance of leftists, because California is one of the bread baskets of the world, and certainly of the left coast, and a lot of that stuff, I'm sure, produce goes all around the United States, it was in the infinite wisdom decided that they would put lengthy solar panels all through the close to 200 plus acres of beautiful, fertile Fornicalia land, and then cover this land with solar panels so that the farmers who sold that land can no longer grow produce there. How very sad.
Isn't it California? They have, I forget what it's called, so forgive me, I didn't plan on bringing it up, but they have that solar array where it's mirrors and they point it to a tower and it heats water up to generate the steam to generate electricity, but they had to shut it down because it was killing too many birds. But go ahead.
That's down in Southern California. I'm up in Northern California, so I don't know that much about that. But here's the other interesting thing. Now the various leftists are saying that the various wind turbines that are around here, that because never are they all working at once, because that's just the nature of wind. Imagine that, not creating wind 24/7. But
global warming.
Wind turbines in global warming are not turning, and a lot of environmentalists are against wind power now because it kills too many birds.
Yep.
You know what I think is a perfect idea is all these various leftists who think that it's various forms of power. You have to get power somewhere, otherwise their iPads and iPhones are certainly not going to work. I think we get a bunch, thousands of exercise bicycles, attach magnetos to them, and have leftists bicycle these things in groups of thousands, line them all up so that they can create magneto electric power. And then they just have shifts. They bicycle for 8 hours. It makes them great legs. They have huge thighs. And then they create electric power. I think that's a great idea.
They won't do it. That means they would have to get a job.
Oh, crap. There's always a fly in the ointment.
No matter which way you go, they're always, I mean, I love how they talk about these cars. Well, these cars are going to be the greatest. Well, how does it get its electricity? Well, you plug it in at night. Okay. Where does electricity come from? Power plant. You mean the coal power plant that you now have to burn more coal to create more electricity because you're plugging your damn car in. Yeah, that. But I'm saving the environment. That's when you want to just have that rubber mount just walking around pulling cartoon movies, bopping them on the head as you go along. Ugh.
But see, that's an excellent point. I've been saying that for quite some time. If you want to go to electric vehicles, and it seems as though that's the push at this point, Tesla is selling a lot of vehicles funded by the U.S. government, as a matter of fact, as you and I both know. Yeah. But if you sell more electric cars, where are you going to get the electricity? Because according to the environmentalists and the various leftists, there is no real acceptable form of electric production. I don't think this country has produced an electrical generation station in quite some time. Certainly it hasn't happened in California. The thing that surprises me about California is the fact that San Diego is in the process of building a multi-billion-dollar salt seawater conversion plant down in Southern California. I'm quite surprised that got through. But in terms of electrical production, I quite frankly don't know of any new electrical production plants that are here on the left coast. And we already have brownouts in the summer out here on the left coast. There's I can't think of the name of it, but there's a Central California distributor that monitors the power and decides where they're going to get the power and move it over to various portions of the grid. But if we're already having electrical problems, and if we create more electric vehicles and demand a greater drain on the electrical system, it's an excellent point. Where are we going to get that power?
I don't understand. And going a little bit different direction too, again, I'm sorry. Here in Florida and Tampa, we have a lot of coal power plants. And the air is beautiful down here. Trust me, I come from New Jersey. The air is beautiful down here. And the restrictions that Obama keeps putting through his EPAs on these plants has caused the cost of electric or coal power plants to skyrocket. So what did the left idiots down here do? Start attacking our Republican governor, blaming him for it. I'm like, because back in 2014, we had the elections for the governor. And there was a couple of idiots blaming him. I'm like, no, it's not. Well, you're just on his side. I'm like, no. You have to look at Obama's EPA regulations, you morons. You have to look and see all the restrictions that we have to do that for the environment. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen when they have to pay more money to put in 20,000 more goddamn filters into these plants? Where are they going to get that money? Oh, they have to raise the prices. Bingo, you moron. Oh, yeah, I am screwing myself. Our prices are going up. I mean, our governor has done a great job on trying to keep them down by not allowing an increase. But, I mean, the power cost is going up exponentially because Obama keeps making it stricter regulations. And now he's doing it with the truckers. He keeps screwing over with their trucks on the emissions. He just made changes recently, and what did he do again? More changes. And our truckers may not be able to drive on the road because of this. I can't wait till we get, hopefully, a Republican president that's not going to be going around trying to kill every business just because of this global warming crap. I get so sick of it. Sorry.
Well, the funny thing about coal is you can't convince me that you can't make clean coal power. The technology probably exists for all the scrubbers and that kind of thing like that.
My dad put those scrubbers in the 70s, and he said that what was coming out is almost zero.
But you can't convince me. If you remember, Obama said that you can have coal power, but I'm going to make it so expensive for you to build new coal plants that you're essentially going to go out of business. And he said that openly.
Yeah.
And so he's making sure that he gets rid of his coal power plants. You know, and I have nothing particularly against greener power.
I don't either.
Power cannot come from one specific source. The greatest, most efficient source of power right now is coal or petroleum or gas, one of those three primary products. And it's a petroleum source, petroleum-based economy right now. And if you want to transition, that's fine, but you cannot rely on one particular source. You cannot rely specifically on wind power. You cannot rely specifically on solar. You cannot rely specifically on geothermal or water production, for example. So you have to have a combination of all of those various things. And for God's sake, in this state, and certainly in the rest of the nation, you're not going to go nuclear. There's a big problem with nuclear in the first place. If you happen to be on Google, right now we're going through uranium-plutonium reactors. One of the finest, most effective reactors extant right now is from a mineral called thorium. And if you Google thorium reactors, you're going to find something very, very interesting about that. When you begin to look into thorium reactors, and the industry around here is not going to change unless they're dragged kicking and screaming to thorium. Thorium is an extremely common element and much more easy to mine. But despite that, we're not going to go to thorium. And number two, we're not going to go to nuclear reactors here in the United States.
Oh, we got a couple here.
Elements in place. What is it that leftists imagine that we're going to do to source our electricity? They want what they want when they want it, but it's certainly not practical to do all of those things. So I do not see any pie in the sky to the problem. But even if there is a solution, and it's a multifaceted solution, you don't just stop everything and then go to another source. You have to blend it in and sort of taper off a bit as you bring other sources in. But they want to completely kill coal, kill petroleum. That's not the way to handle our electricity. That's just not the way to do it.
Well, you have to have a viable replacement and ready to go and already in the works before you go killing coal and petroleum. And that's what they're doing it the opposite way, going, well, if we kill these two, we'll figure out how to, put in something else in its place. That's not the way it kind of works. I'm going to have to cut you off real quick. We got to go to break, and we'll be, back. Hopefully you can stick around. Hopefully you'll stick around a while today. But we're going to go to break, and you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back. Oh, sorry about that. I take breaks at 24 and 54 because of one of the networks I'm on. I have to do a lot of editing after the show, and this makes it kind of easier. I got to do 2 54-minute segments and upload it to their network.
Whatever you need. Yeah. Whatever you need.
You can stay as long as you want. If you need to get going, hey, I understand, but you're more than welcome to stay on as long as you want, man. I'm having fun with this.
I think I'm going to have to bop right around 9 o'clock my time. So let's see, that would be right around noon your time.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm glad you came on, man. I really appreciate it. I've been listening on Snackheads the last couple of weeks, and I was like, damn. Cool. What's going on with your show? You gonna do one, or?
I'm gonna do it, but I'm trying to figure out where we are, Clint and Sean have a studio in Sacramento, and that's where I am. And they have a particular board, and I think they have an issue with the sound. So I'm trying to. I'm not a tech guy by any means. I'm sort of a technical Luddite. So I